Well, hello and welcome back to the Daily Brew, the devotional where every day we drink a new brew of coffee and we see what God is brewing for us in the Bible. Yes, it's cheesy, but it's true. Welcome back to day 88 on our devotional journey. I'm excited to be here with you today in Auckland City, continuing on our 365-day Bible in a year plan. As always, the scriptures that we're going to be reading today are going to be in the descriptions, but just in case you missed it, I'll read it to you as well. Proverbs 8, 12 to 21, Luke 7, 36 to 50, Numbers chapter 26, 12 to chapter 27, verse 11. So those are our scriptures for today, and we continue on our journey with some coffee today. And I'm excited. Let's get into our brew. Oh, actually, no, wait, hold on. I said I was excited, and then I remembered what I'm drinking today. I am not excited about this. To be honest, after the first time we had this, I was like, let's just throw the whole bag away. I never want to drink this again. My dad texted me. He was like, no, you should just never have had that. So, look, here we are. It's the Jed's Coffee Extreme. Yep, it's big. The packaging is big. It's black. It's got a big X on it. It's shiny. It's silver, and it says Extreme. Warning, this coffee packs a punch. I tell you what it packed the punch of. It was a knockout punch for taste. It was not very good last time. So, look, some would say I'm not excited to try this now. I'm not very excited, to be honest. There's not really much that's making me pumped about this. But I'm having it as an espresso today. So maybe the espresso will give me a different flavor. But probably not. Okay, that's what I'm banking today. So let's give this a try and let's see. Oh, what were the tasting notes on this? Were there any? Just extreme. Dark as it gets. Intense, that's right, smoky cocoa notes with bitterness. Well, here's to the most bitter coffee you've ever tasted in your life. Let's give it a try. Actually, oh yeah, there it is. Oh, I was going to say, actually it's not that bad, but okay, so the initial taste is actually kind of sweet. You get the initial, I don't mind that as an espresso. The initial taste you get is quite a sweet taste. Then you get the hit of the bitterness. Not a lot of smokiness in there, but it's definitely not as bad as it was as a filter. As a filter, it was just horrible because it just tasted like ash. The lingering aftertaste tastes like ash. It tastes like what I would imagine my life would be like if I was a chain smoker who smoked a packet of cigarettes every hour. That's how I feel like that would taste. I'm not begging myself to have more of that. I'm not even going to go for another taste. This is still a you should pass this unless you're an American who doesn't know what good coffee tastes like and you just like to taste like you've got a whole bunch of ash, like you're a resident of Pompeii. If you're a resident of Pompeii from when the volcano erupted, yep, this is your coffee, okay? But if you're not, just give it a pass, give it a miss. That's it though for the brews today. Let's get into the Bible. I just need to adjust my seat because I'm not liking this so far. How do I get comfy? How do I normally sit? Just got to try and, oh, you know what? That's it there. Let's get into our devotional today, which is why we're all here. My question that I want to ask you is, where does wisdom come from? Like, how do I become more wise? The answer is yourself, according to the world around us. If you believe what the world says, if you just follow your instincts, then you're going to become more wise. And honestly, that's the most unwise thing ever. Don't just follow your instincts. Don't just be who you want to be and what you want to do. That's not going to lead you to more wisdom. That's going to lead you to foolishness. Wisdom, true wisdom, comes from God and God alone. The closer we are with God, the more wise we become. Wisdom flows from Him, and we need to make sure that we're close to Him every day. We all need wisdom. Wisdom for our families, our work, our schooling, relationships, decisions we are making. And the good news is that wisdom is available for you. Proverbs is one of the books of wisdom in the Bible. It's been written for the express purposes of bringing wisdom to those who read it. We see today that wisdom is extremely valuable. The wisdom of God is so important. It's a great investment because it lasts forever. It's not temporary, it's not fleeting, it's consistent, pure, and holy. This passage reveals to us why it's valuable, and how we should seek God for more wisdom. Wisdom comes from God, okay? We've already said that, but it's this passage in Proverbs states it clearly. Wisdom comes from God. When we begin a relationship with God, we begin a relationship with wisdom. If you do not live with the fear of the Lord, then you're not going to gain in wisdom. This fear is a respect and a deep awareness of God. We need this, as it's the foundation of all wisdom. The next thing I want to talk about is how wisdom is pure. That's what Proverbs lets us know. We can't love God and love evil. It doesn't work. You don't get to do all that you want and everything that God is all at the same time. You must make sure that you come to God with a pure heart. If you want to grow in wisdom, shrink in yourself. I'll say that again. If you want to grow in wisdom, shrink in yourself. Cut out the evil things that you cling to and watch as wisdom increases in your life. Wisdom also improves leadership. If you're a leader, you need wisdom. A leader is anyone who helps someone move forward with their life. So you could be a parent and you're a leader. We all need wisdom to help us grow and move forward in our faith. Without wisdom, we stumble and fall, often tripping over our own feet. Wisdom helps you make greater decisions with greater authority. The wisdom of heaven is ready and available when you are. So my encouragement to you today is to lean into Him and believe for greater measure. I don't know about you, but it's so hard not to judge people before you get to know them, isn't it? It's so easy to do this. Very rarely is it fair or a just way to approach someone. We're so good at expecting everyone else to judge us based on our inward inclination, right? But we're so quick to judge everyone else by their outward appearance. Hypocrites, you know. I'm the same way. It's true though, hey. Jesus today is met by a sex worker. That's who the woman was. She sold her love on the street to anyone who was willing to pay. But she met a man who wanted nothing from her and everything for her. She met Jesus, and as a response, she washes Jesus' feet with her hair and pouring perfume on them. This is a radical act of love, and it's rejected by the Pharisees, but accepted by the one who sees. Jesus was a man who was full of wisdom from a very young age. Remember, right from being a child, he could see what was going on beneath the surface of something. He is not to be mocked. He saw that what the woman was doing, that she was loving Jesus exactly for who he was, and as from a place of exactly where she was too. She could see how much she had been forgiven, and the overflow of her heart was the expression of love towards him. When some saw sin, Jesus saw sacrifice. This woman was so moved, she wet her feet. Like, she wet his feet, not her feet. Her feet weren't wet. Maybe they were. Maybe she was sweaty. Maybe she was nervous. Maybe that's why her feet were wet in my head. Why was her feet? She wet his feet with her tears. Now, just take a moment. Like, how many tears does it take? It's not like she didn't dampen his feet. The Bible says that she wet his feet. That's a lot of tears. There's two things here I want to point out more than how many tears it would take to wet someone's feet. The first thing I want to talk about is this thought around how moved are you by the grace of God in your life? I feel like there are some who have already forgotten, or maybe who have become too familiar with the things of God. Maybe we need to come back. We need to come back to Jesus and make his feet wet again with our gratitude, joy, and appreciation. And the second thing is, are you Jesus in the story, or are you more of a Pharisee? I believe too many of us judge too quickly. So let's make a commitment to be quicker to love people, not to judge them, and to celebrate what God is doing in the hearts of people. Moses is a leader who battled with wisdom. Some decisions he made across his life were more wise than some other ones, like he murdered someone. Okay, that's just not wise. But here in chapter 26, verse 54, we see that Moses was making some wise choices according to the group. Not everyone was as wise as Moses. Ultimately, it was this lack of wisdom that caused them to rebel and grumble against God and be in the wilderness for longer than what they were supposed to be. Today, we see that Moses dealt with the situation he was facing with great wisdom. He actually didn't follow the rules and regulations of the day. He was super open-minded with wisdom. He was super open-minded and made the decision that he needed to make, leaning on the wisdom of God and not the religious expectation of the day. Notice that, what Moses does time and time again. What does he do? He brings all of his problems to where? To God. Over and over and over again, he brings his problems to God. This is what wise people do. This is actually the secret to wisdom, okay? To bring our problems to God, to seek the Lord's help and guidance, and to go to God with your problems, see what God has to say, and then do what God has to say. If we just did that more, we'd be more wise. Verse of the day. Verse of the day today, Luke 7:40 says, Jesus answered him, Simon, I have something to tell you. Tell me, teacher, he said. Jesus has something to tell you every moment of every day. I want to encourage you, lean in like Peter did. Tell me what it is. Tell me what it is. Let me hear, God, what you have to say. That's my prayer. Let me hear what you have to say. Tell me. I'm ready to hear. And that is it for today, the Daily Brew done and dusted, day 88. Thank you very much for joining me today. Done. I don't have much else to say. Thank you. Massive thank you to everybody who has already followed the podcast, rated the podcast, subscribed to the YouTube channel, and who's liked this devotional, and who's clicked the bell. Oh, if you've done all 47 of those things, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. I really respect you. Thank you. Oh, I don't really respect you. I respect you for doing this plan. That's what I actually respect you for. I value the fact that you followed the podcast and rated it. It's just going to help us get this out further and wider for more people year on year. Hey, a massive blessing over you. A massive blessing over the scriptures you're reading. If it's the start of your day, have a great rest of your day. If it's not, sleep tight. Good night. And we'll see you tomorrow back here for day 89 of the Daily Brew.